Aloha, great job today. So for this week, the ideas that we want to talk about is this. If you're going to be putting a capo on the second fret and utilizing this through the eyes of D, that's wonderful. Then you have D, G, D. Close enough. So if D's down and you play these two notes, you obviously are going to be having your G major because it has a D, a B, and then a G. Being able to notice that if we move a finger up from our B to our C, that moves one of our notes. We're going to be moving that forward to have a sus. Why? In the key of G, when we play G, G, A, B, C. C is the fourth, so moving the B, the third, to the four changes the tonality of three consonants to having kind of a consonant. It's more of a dissonant, but it feels kind of like it's causing a little tension. It's feeling like it's unresolved, and when you put back in the third, it really gives the resolution. See the way that those susses function? When you play it as a minor, it still has the tonality movement, but we never call a minor chord a sus. Sus chords are only reserved for majors. When we flatten the third and we have a mediant which has a flat 3, using the minor third scale degree rather than the major third scale degree, like the B is the major third, the B flat is the minor third. When we do that, the name of the chord would be a 9 chord because we essentially, we do not make majors as sus chords. The three different types of chords we will have if we show it through the eyes of G major would be G major. Oh, I went out of tune there. Give me a second. We would have G major. When we flatten the third, you get a minor. So we are G minor. Since we have the capo on, we're not capable of doing the kind of chord that I wanted to show you. But if we were to have the D here and the G and the B, right here, right? When I move the B back to a B flat, and then the D to a D flat, we get a D diminished. A D diminished has a flat 3 and a flat 5. Meaning, with the capo on, you can't achieve it in the normal sense, and you would have to rearrange where the chords are. So, by having the D here, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, or an F, F sharp, G. This is where our new placement of the G would be, right? So we put it down here. We would have our G, G sharp, A sharp, B. So if we had our G and our B, and then we wanted to make this a G diminished, we would have to flatten the 3. And then our D is right here, right? Oh. So our whole chord would look like this. We'd have it all the way up. That's a hard stretch. One of the cool things you can see is if you don't play with the capo, it's much easier to form certain chords. If you play with the capo, it's certain to form other chords. I guess that did or didn't make sense. It's not a disadvantage to play with the capo, and it is a disadvantage at the same time. But you're going to be working on different concepts at different times. Eventually, I hope that you'll take off the capo and also move the capo around, which leads us to our next idea and example. If we're playing something like a G major, G minor, and you understand the idea of having the G, B flat, and then a D flat as our diminished, and you can't do it here unless you remove this. The only other one would be a G augmented. It has a G, B, and then a D sharp. Really cool rhythm exercises to play a G major to a G augmented, and then an E minor. We're just moving the D to D sharp, then E back to D sharp. It's utilizing that 5 to a sharp 5 to a 6, sharp 5, back and forth. Super fun. 3 different types of chords that we see in a major chord are the major, the minor, and then the diminished. I can't do it there unless you take off the capo. I don't have enough frets. G, B flat, D flat. And then the augmented, which is not found inside of a major chord, is a 1-3 sharp 5, which gives us exactly what we're just talking about. Anywho, one of the really cool things you can do this week, take a piece of paper and pencil, write down the key of whatever key you want to do. And I would suggest doing it in D or A or B flat or something that has 1 or 2 flats or sharps, something a little simpler than a key that has like 5 sharps. When we do that, find your third scale position, which is your major third, write down the 3 notes of the triad, and realize that the third scale position, although it's called a major third, the chord that is deriving from that scale position is going to be the third. It would be a minor third. And then for the 6th chord, when we do the major 6th of the chord, the chord itself is going to be a minor chord. So going through your scales with the tonalities, your tonalities are built off of your dyads. So in every scale, the first 2 notes, the distance between those 2 are called intervals, and those intervals determine whether it's major or minor. So for this week, pick any key, figure out what the major third, the major 6th are, build those chord triads, and when you do it maybe in D, and then move your capo, if you're going to be using a capo, let's say to the 4th fret, and you would get an E. You're still going to play the same shape, but now the name of the chord and the sound of it has changed, but the root stock, the chord, still going to be the same. I really enjoyed seeing you today. If you have any questions about this, put it in the comment section or just send me an email and I'll get to it. Aloha.